Morning, guys. In this video that you're going to see is all the trenching that we've done, laying the electric line, our well and electric line, and then our septic drain for the house. So you'll see all that in this video, and so I'll wrap that up today, put that up. Today is Sunday, October 2nd, and then today and tomorrow we're filling in our trench, ground landscaping all around the house. We put a French drain in. You'll see that on the last video, and I'll wrap that up, kind of tie that up with also packing up the barn and the RV and putting everything away for the winter, and then get on the road. And I want to announce that we are heading to our property in Tennessee, and we're going to try to do pretty much similar stuff. It's a little bit different layout. It's more wooded there, and we need to build a road up to where we want our home site, our future home site. We picked it out the last time we were there. So we will be continuing with videos along the way, and then when we get to Tennessee, probably first part of November or so. So just wanted to give you a heads up of what you're going to see in this video. It's a little bit more of a bits and pieces put together. Not a lot of me and Shannon in the video talking, but just kind of just showing you what we did since the house was all packed up and put away in the barn, and what our next step is. Okay guys, Monday morning and trenching has started. Just like I showed you, we're going from where we put a marker, and what I did is just did an elbow up. Sorry about the sunlight, but see where the pipe turns to white right there? There's an elbow in there, and this comes up. So I'll take this out, change that elbow for a straight fitting, maybe even put a T in here so I can keep some of this pipe up just in case we ever get a clog. It's good to have it about halfway down, and that's about halfway to our septic. But then, as you can see, we trenched all the way up, and of course the shadows are making it difficult to see, but Shannon's probably halfway, maybe even a little bit more now, and just got to go up to that corner of the house right there, and I have a pipe in there, and I put it in there before we put all the cement in, and we just got to find that at the corner there and tie into that, and that way our septic sewer pipe is all hooked up for the house, and then I can just go from there, from the basement up to toilets and sinks and all that kind of stuff. Hey guys, just finishing up our sewer line, and that goes from the corner of the house, you can see barely up there, goes in right, pretty much right in the corner of the foundation, and then a little ways down right here is a clean out, so eventually that'll be cut wherever our ground ends up being even with the ground, and that's basically what you see when a plumber comes to your front lawn and looks for a place to snake out if you have a clog. So put that in. Shannon's just finishing up this glue joint here. And it goes all the way down to catch in from last year what we did, and that's where it turns white. We did that. Okay guys, now I'm working on the electric. There's, on the other side of this meter is our panel in the barn. 200 amps, 100 amps is actually going to run. I got a pipe sticking out of the ground right where you can see that plastic thing. That's actually, I've been using that as a cover over the pipe, but it's coming out of the ground. I've already fished my orange string which is this, through, and then just now I taped that with about 100 feet of coaxial cable that I had, and I'm using that as a fish tape, and we just pulled that through and it came through here. So now we're from the barn underground up to here, and that's where it's coming out. Now I'll put it, I already cut that. I'm gonna put that elbow right there on and then run this line, and eventually it'll go all the way to the house. This isn't gonna be buried. This is gonna come up the side wall there and actually go into the underneath, like through the wood right here. Sorry, it wants to focus on my finger still, but I'm gonna have it run up and through there, and the box will be in the pantry, which is right about here. Eventually the pantry will be there, and I'll have the panel for the house in there, and that'll be 100 amps. That's more than enough. 800 square foot house. We're not big electronics or anything like that, so that's where that'll come through. So again, I had laid this pipe underground when we put our service in, and our service is right there underground, and that runs over to the barn and up that wall there. So when I had this all trenched out here, what I did is threw an extra pipe in there just for this day, and now I'm starting to feed it through, and eventually, like I said, I'll just keep feeding it through these pipes as I put them on all the way to the house there. And the reason I did it with coaxial cable, it's nice. They call it fish tape. You can buy it. It's a roll of metal and it bends and stuff. And you tie that to your wire and you drag that through your pipe, and that's how you get your cables through. But what I'm gonna do is I got this extra 100 feet of coaxial cable that I never use, and that's why I ran that through as the fish tape, and that is gonna be, that's coming out right there. So, and that'll be more than enough next summer whenever we run the real electric line over to the house. We will just have to pull on that coaxial cable, and at the other end at the barn I'll have it all taped to our cables and just pull them through. All right, the third trench is our well right here, and we gotta lay a water pipe, black water pipe, all the way to the house there. But right about where Shannon is actually our underground electric line that starts or ends at our transformer, but goes up and grabs onto the main right at the corner of, there's 4 lots that meet up here. Ours, this person, and the one next to us here. So there's a big underground thing there. That's where they grabbed on, and we had dug a 4-foot trench early on, this a 3 years ago. But so we have to hand dig this trench right here, about a 3-foot area, because we didn't want to hit the electric. And so we worked around it, we found it, and we're gonna put our water pipe gently under it. So that's what we're doing right now, working on that. This is the pipe. It comes in a big roll. We got 100 feet of it, 1.25 inch black poly, 250 PSI. So it's a real strong pipe. So when you roll it out, you gotta put rocks on it, let it sit in the sun, and it'll bend out nice and straight. So we did that yesterday, and that goes all the way back there, so 100 feet. So I'm gonna grab that and start putting that in, feeding it into this trench. Okay guys, it's about 2:30 on Saturday. We were able to get that beam off, pretty much what we thought. We rented that trencher again. We had to make a quick mistake over on our water. We didn't go deep enough, so we had to rent the trencher anyways. So we dug that out, our water line to the proper, it was instead of 4 feet, had to go 6 feet. Then we came over here, and thanks to one of my neighbors who's a welder, and he had some heavy duty straps and what he calls a beam cart with wheels. We were able to fit that under the beam up on top, and then we just finagled with these straps under that 2x4, and he had this heavy duty piece of iron right here, and I lag screwed that to the side beam here, or the floor joist, and then we took the 2 straps, lifted in the middle, and pretty much dragged it up here. So took a good hour and a half to figure different ways out and stuff. We tried other ways and they just didn't work, so that worked the best. But once we got it sliding, kept going, now we can get at our dirt piles, and our grading around the foundation is all clear, and we're pretty excited. That's a wall that wasn't, I thought it was in better shape, but it really isn't. So sorry, there's a fly and a bee right next to me and making me jiggle the camera. But we'll get that wall cleaned up, and then we'll start grading. So that'll be the next thing. Sorry, I'm being attacked by a bee. All right, I'm steady now. So there's how it's gonna look. Probably we're gonna just tarp over that and make it nice and tight for the winter. But we're pretty excited that we got that out of there. Now we're gonna lift it up at each corner. I already have the front lifted up and a block under each one. Our grass, our hay's so long you can't really tell. So, but I'm gonna get back to it. Okay. Come down, down, down. Right now we're just grading out this, because if the water doesn't, when it rains, if it doesn't go that way, we'll get it in that way. So we're just making a nice little mixture, and we're going to do this all along this front wall here, because our land goes downhill that way. So perfect. Shannon's getting real good with this. He's a surgeon. Now she's had about 3 days on this thing now, so now she's like, can get in like it's her hand or something, and not as good as some of those guys. Like, doing good though. Guys, just want to give you an update of what we're doing. We're working every day here. So as you can see, Saturday I think was the last time I videoed though. We did move that loft floor and the beam. They're all one, so, and they're sitting up on cinder blocks, so they're about 2 feet off the ground, believe it or not. And we'll tarp that. Today we're tarping our floor, what's left. We got some sections of walls that kind of came down as holes, so we laid them neatly along one side here. They fit perfectly, and now we're taking some OSB that we have, and we're just gonna put it all on here so it's nice and flat, because we did put the tarp on before when it rained, and we had puddles in between all our studs. So we don't want that for the winter, so we're just making that a smooth floor. And then we'll tarp this whole floor. We got a whole tarp over there, that white tarp, and that's 48 by 28. That'll go perfect over here, and everything will be buttoned up for the winter. Then we're still working on our trench. Everything's done, but we want to get an okay by our well guy before we do anything more and fill this in. And that's the one thing that we're not familiar with, so we're waiting for him to. He's supposed to send a guy over today to check it, so we'll fill that. There's our power, so that's all hooked up and everything, running right to the house. And then we've already filled in the septic and stuff, so we're starting to button everything up. A thunderstorm brewing right at sunset. Sun is setting there, which is pretty cool, but this is very unusual that we have that brewing right there over that mountain. Pretty cool looking though. All right guys, it's Friday the 30th of September. I actually worked yesterday. It was a rainy day, so we didn't do anything here. So trying to finish up this trench, because Sunday we'll rent that skid steer, fill this in the electric trench, and get the ground all graded. So that's what we're doing today. So we just put a little bit of sand down. What we did is that pile right there is actually sand that we had dumped, and sand acts as an insulator. So we want to be as good as we can with this pipe. You're supposed to be down 6 feet. We hit some rocks and we're about 5.5, but so we put a little bit of sand down here, and now we laid our water pipe, and then we're gonna fill in with some sand over it. And then that's our well, by the way, down there. And then it leads all the way to the house. And Shannon's actually wrapping some insulation around. Plus, we put it in a 3-inch ABS pipe just to have air pocket around the well pipe with water. The winters are so cold here. And then as it goes to the house, it actually has to come up, not totally out of the ground. Below grade is that black line basically. So we're almost 30 inches still below, but we're just wrapping it in insulation. And then we got this stuff called Blue Board, which is 2-inch rigid insulation, and they suggest we put that around it before we totally bury it, and we should be fine. So we're just cinching it all up, making it good, so we never have to do a dig up because we have frozen pipes or something here if we ever do spend a winter. All right guys, everything's in. The gray conduit is for the electric, that'll run into our panel that's going to be in the house to hook up the pump for the wells. So that's why there's 2 things in this hole, but only one freezes, so that's why we were doing the sand and everything. This pipe, the gray pipe, can go anywhere. So they go all the way down there, and then our well is sticking up, and I'm short about a 6-foot piece of this gray pipe, so I'll do that Sunday morning, stick that in, and that in the well pipe, which is right there, will both be out of the ground. So next year when they want to hook us up, they know exactly where everything is. They'll dig it, hook it up to the well, and we'll have running water in the house and stuff eventually. So that's where we're at. So on Sunday we're renting a skid steer to push all this dirt back in, and including that sand pile will all go on top of all this as an insulator, so we shouldn't have any problems. Where's Lefty, Pancho? Where's Lefty? Huh? Where is he? There's Lefty. Come on, Lefty. Lefty likes hiding in the barn. Come on, buddy. Them 2 boys. It's only about 39 degrees out, so they don't like staying out too long. They're our pampered pooches. Right, Punch? You want to get in and get a treat? Who wants a treat? Who's going to get a treat? Who's going to get a treat? Yeah. All Alright guys, that was the video. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching and keeping up with us all this summer. We'll probably have, like I said, one more showing us grading out the property and packing up and closing everything down, what we do to do that before we leave. And we'll leave a week from, today is Sunday the 2nd, so we're planning on leaving a week from tomorrow, so if everything goes right. Couple things, Shannon's truck is still in the shop, collision shop, getting repaired from when the house kind of fell over and part of it hit her truck, the back of her truck, so that's still being repaired, and we got a lot of loose ends here and there to wrap up around in the barn and close up everything, turn stuff off. So I'll go over that this week and we'll have that video out, and then it's off to Tennessee. Okay, thanks for watching.